But here's my thing. Here's my thing when it comes to relationships is that I don't think people are prioritizing to go after what they want. They go after what they can accept or what they can get for that moment. Nobody really thinks about the longevity of relationships anymore. That's why we don't really see that many relationships lasting because people are so quick to give up, so quick to just end. And to me, that's frustrating because what women do, and I'm speaking as a man who sees women. You get on these little social sites, you're posting on these heartbreak hotel posts. Oh, how I want a man, how I need a man. Then you see a man looking like, because men are hunters, like, oh, that that fatty calf looks kind of tasting. Oh, and it wants to be devoured. Hey, how you doing? But then it's like, oh, when you're a man who wants something real, those men are the ones that go through the most crap. It wasn't until I adopted the I don't give a care attitude that, oh, I had women. And then someone told me this, and I think I've seen a post about it today, that women don't want men who want them. Women want men that they have to fight with or have some type of edge with because it's not boring. Am I wrong? Tell me I'm wrong, because
I mean, I definitely see it as being both ways because I personally do not want that. That feels like struggle love. I'm fighting for you to want me back, or I'm pulling you while you pulling away. Like that doesn't sound like the relationship I would want. Like, been there, done that, right? So to say that that's what women are looking for, I agree with you. There are some women who probably enjoy the thrill of that cat and mouse. Come get me. Don't want you, but I want you, but I don't want you. Why you stop trying? I still want you. Come get me. No, I don't. I don't want you no more. Like that junk is annoying, and I've seen it the other way around this too. I actually told a gentleman one time. I said, I don't think I'm your type. I've seen the women before me, and you enjoy drama. That's not me. I'm
mm,
not slashing your tires. I'm not chasing you down. I'm not blowing your phone up 17 times in a row, and I'm not coming by your job unannounced. That's not me. So you say you want me. Understand? I'm probably boring considering the women you dated before me.
it's it's crazy because a lot of my friends who I see who are single and they have this thing where they want to be in relationships, and I'm like, dude, like why y'all not making the connections out here with these women? And then I get out here for myself and see how the dating field is and see how people talk about relationships and how they move. And it's like, oh, I get it now. Y'all talk all day but have no action behind it.
Hmm.
Because I feel like this is how I am right now, currently. I'm dating and I'm dating multiple people, not just to date to be dating. I'm dating inspecting. Can I eventually make this woman my future wife?
Hmm.
Because I want to travel. I want to see the world. I would love to have somebody with me for that. But the problem is that a lot of women aren't prepared for a man who's ready to move.
Hmm. I can see that. Remember, we talk about trust too and perspective. So she may not be ready for a man who's on the move or is moving because the men in her life who said they ready weren't ready, right? So she put her trust in somebody. They led her to the wrong way. Somebody said, "You want to lead so bad, but where are we going?" Yes, I should follow your lead. Yes, I should trust you. But what have you done to show me that I can trust you, right? So some of that is her past trauma, her past relationship situations, maybe her own insecurities or being unsure of the man she's talking to or dating or dealing with. And I often said that that man has to have a little bit more grace and patience with her, especially talking about independent women, right? A woman who's done it by herself already, and this guy comes in and says, "I got you." She like, "I'm not too sure." The last guy said he got me and he didn't. If I didn't fail 5 times, it's kind of hard for number six time to come around, and you really got me this time. So give her a little grace and space. If you really like her, if she really likes you, if y'all going somewhere, give her a chance to trust you, to know that you're not gonna drop her like the last one did. And if y'all can't, then it's like she's like you like the rest of them.
Well, the thing is, though, and that makes sense. I agree. Grace and patience has to be understood, especially when someone who's dealing with something that they gave themselves and someone took advantage of it, misused, or hurt, or abused them. I
Mm-hmm.
get it. But at the same time, people always say, well, you don't know when the Lord coming back, so you better be ready. It can be not as high of a same impact, but you don't know when a good man will come into your life. So you got to have the mentality of being ready, because that good man, yes, he may like you, he may want to spend time with you, he may want even longevity with you, but he's not going to sit there and waste his time while you try to figure out if you want to be with him or not, if you want to trust him or not.
Mm-hmm.
Because as much as you trying to figure out if you want to trust this man, he got a million more opportunities out there.
Mm. You don't think she has opportunities too?
It depends on the woman.
For
Let's just being real.
sure.
If you are a woman who have kids, you have less opportunities, because a
Mm.
lot of people don't want to deal with the responsibility that comes with a woman with children.
Right.
They don't want to deal with, okay, I want to go on a date. Well, I got to find a babysitter. Dang, we can't go to the show on Friday because you got your babysitter canceled. A lot of people don't want to deal with that. They don't want to deal with the arguments that's going to come up. Well, you ain't my daddy. You ain't going to tell me. A lot of men don't want to deal with that.
Yeah.
And then, of course, they want to be put invest into that woman and her children, all for that man to come back talk about, I want my family back. I want to be the man I was supposed to be. Can we make it work? And of course, you're going to be all emotional, because then it's like you have the opportunity to put back what was taken apart. So that man who invested in those children, invested in you, now may be sitting on the curb like, oh, her man came back. So it's like women in that situations, you have a lot harder as far as your selections,
Mm-hmm.
especially with the red pill era online. There's millions of videos now of telling men do not date women with children. And they are giving out example and example. And the examples I gave are similar ones that they're giving.
Mm-hmm. I just find it interesting because I was actually telling somebody the other day, I'm seeing a lot of people, adults, who are thanking their stepfathers. There's like he stepped up. He wasn't my birth father, my biological, but he's my stepdad. He stepped up to the plate. And I often found it really interesting that there were so many great stepfather stories, and not as, and it almost seems not as many good father stories. And I often think, had that stepfather met that mother earlier, would he have been that great father in that life of those children? Or was it because he had a chance to be a stepfather to come in and create those new memories? You know what I mean? Like, obviously, we know there's not always horror stories when it comes to being a step parent,
Right.
or being, helping the woman out with her children. But I just found that to be really inspiring to see so many people say they thank their stepfather for being there. There was a second father figure to them. If it wasn't for that person, things would have been different. You know what I'm saying? But you're right. The responsibility is real, and it's to make accommodations. You talk about dating. I often think, why not have a family date? I understand that's not feasible, or maybe not something you want to do all the time. You want to get to know her individually. But if you know that she has children and you know she can't get a sitter, or it's hard to get a sitter, why not create a family date so everyone can go? Go to the park. You guys have a picnic while the kids are playing, or go to the movies. It's a kid movie, but you spend time with her and the children. And she may see this man's really here for all of us, not just here for me. Or plan a date while the kids are at school. Somebody got to take a day off of work, perhaps. But you know what I'm saying? I feel like if you really want it to work, you're gonna make it work. Um, Communication is the key, right? To be able to talk about these things.
Hmm.
But I do wonder, we mentioned before, does do some women with children take advantage of a man who is looking to invest in them, to looking to be that stepfather figure? Are they only looking for him? Oh, he's a great man. He wants me for me and my kids. I'm gonna take what I can get from them. You know what I mean? Is that deterring men from dating women with children?
Of course. Like, and to piggyback on what you said, which you made some good points. Yes, I honestly believe if you are going to date a woman with children, you need to make a point of creating the lane of communication and understanding for you and those children. Because if, like you said, you need patience and grace with her, you're going to need the same thing with the kids.
Mm-hmm.
Now, do a woman takes advantage of a man coming into for her with her children to be apart? Yes, they do, and it's not as if they do it in a malicious way. It's a way of protection
Mm-hmm.
because they their responsibility to their children is everything because they're doing everything. When they get sick, they got to deal with it on their own. Taking them to school, picking them up from school. They get a call from the school that their child is acting up. They have to leave work and go up there and do it.
Mm-hmm.
I get it. But at the same time, when you have someone, excuse me, that is a potential blessing into your life, because what a blessing into your life is a help. A man coming in saying, you know what, I see you, I see your children, I love you, and I'm gonna love them because they came from you.
Mm-hmm.
That's a blessing. But a lot of single mothers I see don't understand that because of what they went through in the past, and they when that blessing comes along, they are not mentally ready to accept it.
Mm-hmm.
And what they don't realize, in my opinion, is that you're really hurting your children.
Mm-hmm.
And I say that because you have the potential to create a loving household now with a man who wants to be there, not the one that left or the one that couldn't act right and you had to kick out, but the one is choosing, I want to be here. I want to invest here. I want to grow here. And I want to make sure you and your children are well off.
Mm-hmm.
That is rare because what a lot of women don't really realize is a lot of men, we understand. We understand that you, as a single mother, you got all the responsibility on your shoulders. You got to do everything. They get sick, you're the nurse, you're the preacher, you're the disciplinary figure in the house.
Mm-hmm.
You are every hat that a woman's supposed to have and a man's supposed to have. So a lot of men know how to come in there and take advantage of that. And they take advantage by knowing that you need a break. You need an escape from a moment from all that responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
You come in there with the Rico Suave style and talking to you good and everything, and you thinking like, oh, I finally found somebody who wants to be with me. And then all of a sudden we get what we want as far as you physically, keeping it real. We end up having sex with you, get everything we want, put in your mind that we're gonna be there for the long haul, and then first time you start acting up or in their minds, they leave.
Mm-hmm.
There's a difference from those who take advantage of a woman's situation versus those who want to be there. And a lot of women are been so hurt by what happened to them that they don't understand that, and they don't see which is which when a man confronts them.
Mm-hmm. I guess, like you say, it takes both parties, and I agree that if a woman with children has a chip on her shoulder from the past relationships, she has to be willing to acknowledge it and work through it. And at the same time, that man coming in has to understand that there's going to be some blocks in the road. It's not going to be an easy situation because you're merging two, not just two lives, but your two lives plus all her children's lives. You
Right.
know, no one wants to introduce you to their children just for you to leave. You build a
Right.
bond with them for them to leave, or you and the woman may get along well, but how does that mix with the children? If they're always around and you guys don't get along, or maybe they don't want another man in their house. You know what I mean? Like there's those pieces, and I feel like some men try to rush into that. I'm trying to be your man and your father figure to your children. Pick me already. You know what I mean? And it's like give her that space and that opportunity to let her guard down and give her more reasons why you should. And maybe not monetarily, right? Because some people take advantage of your money, but what are some other ways you can be there for her to let her trust you more, to let her know that you're not going nowhere, um, let her know you safe with me. What I mean?
There's different ways that it can be done as far as maintaining like real communication.
Mm-hmm.
I always feel like the best communication is better with without texting.
Mm-hmm.
Texting is a form of communication, but it's a cheap way of communicating, because I can text you this and then go about my business. As long as I said something to you, I'm showing that I'm concerned about your well-being. I really feel like take advantage of the times we're in, whether you can send um, call, have a conversation where you're actually using your words to communicate. And if you can't do that, one of the communications I love doing is video chatting, because it allows me to practice talking to you face to face to get an understanding of how you handle conversation. Oh, if you ain't like what I said, your eyebrow went up. Oh, you smirked. It's you learning the person,
Right.
but that takes time, that takes effort, and that takes a lot of trust, because you got to let your guards down. And like I said, single parents don't do that as much because they understand I can't let an unknown source come in and affect what I got going on, because what I got going on has been put me in a position to be able to maintain
Mm-hmm.
what I have to deal with. But it takes me back to where the old folks back in the day, when you look at how they handled their relationships, I know a lot of people say like, well, they were in a relationship, but they were unhappy.
Mm-hmm.
But they understood that to make this family work, we both got to work together. And I understand people be like, well, they were unhappy, so the kids probably understood that they were too happy. They just stuck it out. But a relationship, a family, it's going to always have its problems.
Mm-hmm.
If the strength in that relationship, the strength in that family is when they stick it out the long haul. Because once you break it, I seen the example on a movie called Fireproof
Mm-hmm.
about marriage, and the guy took a salt and pepper dispensers, stuck them together. The other guy's like, "Dude, why'd you do that?" He's ticked off, so he tried to rip them apart, and then the man told him, "Don't do that, because if you rip them apart, you're gonna hurt one or you're gonna hurt the other. But together, they are impactful." And that's how our relationships are. Our relationships are impactful when we stay together and we stick it out. One of the things I feel like we don't do enough for our relationships, we're not communicating at all. And I mean real communication.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things that I wanted to establish for my relationship is that I want to establish a time of communication where we sit down and I, for like what, 10, 15 minutes or so, whatever's on my partner's mind, she's able to communicate with me about, to create a lane where it say, okay, whatever, however you're feeling about where we're going,
Mm-hmm.
say it right here, so I can get understanding where we at, what I need to do what I to understand what I need to do for change, or what you need to do for change.
Mm-hmm.
Because the thing is, we get too comfortable and we just go with the punches. Oh, he left his shoes in front of the door, and I stepped up and broke my back. I'm
Mm-hmm.
upset. So rather than not say anything, I just continue on, or she just continues on, so we don't argue. But it's building up an inside.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I just washed these dishes, and he gonna come put his cup in the sink after I just washed the dishes.
Exactly.
And that builds up. Oh, he brushed his teeth in the sink, and then they're gonna leave his excess toothpaste in the sink after I just cleaned the bath. Everything builds up, but
Mm-hmm.
the problem is there's no communication. So it's just anger building up, and then when it gets to that breaking point, all those things you were upset about come together, and they're not even a directed anger; they're just unleashed. It's just madness now, because now I'm just not just mad about that. I'm mad about everything.
Mm-hmm. On the same accord. Does she really have to tell you to pick your shoes up? Does she have to tell you to clean up after yourself? Like there becomes a point as adults we should clean up. Now, I mean, that seems to be a common thread, though, that there's usually one partner that's more messy than the other one, and then the complaint always is, "I gotta pick up after them. I feel like I have another child here," and it's like this is a common occurrence in many relationships. Why not communicate that? Why not say that? But people suffer in silence.
Yin and yang, two different things come together and make one.
I guess that's why, and that's interesting too. People who don't live together until they're married, they won't know until afterwards, unless you like spend nights in
Right.
his house or visit or whatever. But even then, I know most people probably straighten up their house before they get visitors. That's not how you normally live. I
Right.
want to see how you live. So if we live together, do you leave your socks at the front door? Do you leave the bread open? You know what I mean? Do you know
Instead
drop
of putting
dishes?
the tie back on the bread, you
Yes.
just spin
Okay.
it around.
Or just leave it open. You just forgot to close it all the way around.
Hmm.
Um, Now your bread all crunchy, but things like that. But with the, I don't know. I guess the dating scene in general is like you ask you certain questions. I agree with the set amount of time though to actually set dedicated time aside to say, hey, this is our time to talk. I know we're busy. I know we got things going on, but your opinion and your conversation is important to me.
Hmm.
So this is our time right here. And even if they don't have anything to say, still having that time set aside is dope.
Right. Because you, like I said, if they don't have anything to say, you can say, "Well, how you doing?" or how you been doing?" It's like just with everything. Hey, did you catch that show? You're talking about the show. It's something small can create bigger avenues because what you're doing is you're practicing your communication skills with your partner,
Mm-hmm.
which goes a long way. When you look at some of the older couples and how they talk about staying together and maintaining their relationships, the one thing they say is talk about everything.
Mm-hmm.
Communication is the biggest thing you can have. And when
Mm-hmm.
you think about especially how life is today, it's like everything is on the phone or digital. We're not taking time to actually sit and talk with anybody. Like
Right.
we don't even have Cosby dinners anymore. Everybody sit there and the food is in front of you. You pray over the food. Everybody eat,
Mm-hmm.
and we don't do that anymore. Now it's like, okay, I'm gonna go get my plate, go sit in front of the TV, watch my show. We're not sitting together. We're not communicating. We're not building those relationships, and that's a problem.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, and I think that's even like with long distance. There's been times where I video called somebody and we ordered dinner or we made dinner at the same time, so we could actually do one of these kind of deals. So we
Mhm.
were eating together even though we weren't together. Um, or on the go, or just texting when you get home, or doing your morning routines together. Something that kind of bonds you and connects you. So I guess that kind of brings back to that single mother situation. How do you pull them into your daily life? You know what I'm saying? And make it still make it make sense, and still have that bond and communication, so it's not a hassle. Because like you say, you have to bring in two different lifestyles, two different everythings together to make it work. And are you mentally prepared for what comes with it? How do you adjust? um I guess obviously you both have to want it first, but to adjust accordingly to make those things work. And how, I don't know, check-ins I think will be important to be able to say, hey, this is working, this isn't working, let's try something else.
It has to, like you spoke earlier about, it had to be trust and patience on the man's side.
Mhm.
It has to be that on the mother's side too. And if in that particular area, I feel like women, single mothers, really need to be a little bit more selling of themselves in the
Mm,
sense of just because I have them doesn't mean I can't be the wife that you may be looking for or you may need, because it just can't be one way.
mm-hmm,
The man being all this to you and you're not nothing to him. It's like, no, it has to actually be a two-way street. And that's where it gets to the point of, because Kevin Samuels,
mm-hmm,
he talked to a lot of single mothers on his show, and they were talking about how they're the prize, and he would bring it out. So it's like, are you the prize? Are you the same level of prize versus a young single person who doesn't have kids?
mm-hmm.
And some will be like, yeah, because, and then he like, why would you say that? And they say, well, I have experience. And it's like, no, you have experience through pain, heartache, trials, and tribulations. This young person is just exploring life, getting to know life. So they're open to whole new things. So it's different on different ends. I already told you I don't like the whole I'm the prize thing. But it's like You have to understand where you're at. And I don't think I think that when some single mothers get that mindset, it'd be easier for them to be able to obtain a husband, someone that will make them a husband versus making them just a booty call or a one night stand type of deal.
Absolutely. Everyone wants that higher level something, you know.
Right.
You want to be more than just their friend, you want to be their girlfriend, you want to be more than just their girlfriend, you want to be their wife. More than just baby mama, I want to be the mother of your children. What if we change the word prize to valuable? Or you bring or they bring value. Would that make a difference? If I say, why would a man want you? Because I'm valuable, as opposed to because I'm a prize. Would that make a difference?
I think it would, in a sense, because you would think of prize, you're thinking of something fresh that no one's able to touch.
Mm-hmm.
Valuables, everything has different value.
Mm-hmm.
Not one thing is the same as the other.
Right.
But at the same time, it can just be wordplay.
Mm-hmm.
So because I feel like a lot of because like I said, I already told you, I don't like when women say they're the prize
Mm-hmm.
because it leaves no room for growth. It's like take me as I am, and I have no time. There's no areas where I need to grow or advance at.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we say you're valuable. Well, the most valuable player isn't just most valuable because he's good at one thing. He does a multiple, or she does a multiple things to be to promote her value.
Mm-hmm.
So I look at it that way.
Okay. 'Cause I mean, as we're talking about, I think about it because why do we say, or why did we start saying we are the prize? And honestly, I do feel like the word should have been valuable. I bring value to the situation. You know what I'm saying? When you said she had experience or she's older or whatever case may be, that's value. But to who? Because someone may not need that experience. Somebody
Right.
may not want a mother figure or may not want someone who has maternal instincts, right? They might not care about having kids. So that's not the value they need. But to say I'm a prize because I don't have kids, well, no, your value is different because I can start a fresh family with you. Um,
Right.
doesn't mean you're better than a woman who already has children, but your value or the value, what I see for you, the value that you could add to my life will be different. Um, so I think the man is valuable too. I mean, obviously he has to be if women want one. You know, there has to be value on both ends because when you buy a house, the money for the house for the money. Like there's value on both ends. Win-win.
It goes about like the whole saying, like, what do you bring to the table?
Mm-hmm.
When men are asking that, they're not talking about a table. It's like, what do you bring to my life?
Mm-hmm.
What do you bring to my life that's going to make my life a little bit easier? Now, when if you're talking to a single mother, you're coming with children and everything that I labeled earlier. So even though you're coming with children, are you coming with stability with me?
Mm-hmm.
Are you coming with room for me to be able to assist you with your children in a way to where we can all grow to know each other? Because I just watched a video. I think it was a skit where a woman was about to break up with a man was about to break up with his woman because her son was just too much.
Yeah, misbehaving.
Yeah, but he in his mind is like, I got with you and your kid. I'm doing all this, but he don't listen. He don't mind. I can't take it anymore. I'm out. And the woman can be like, well, fine, you can leave. We can. I don't need you. I can do bad all by myself. All that other lingo we use when we
Mm-hmm.
get hurt or we don't get our way.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like that particular woman, if that were to happen, she missed out on opportunity to create a household, a complete household. Now she would allow that man, if he's going to discipline her son in love and actually try to teach and guide him, that's valuable. That's the value of having a man in the house.
Mm-hmm.
Like I see all these women, single mothers, taking all this pride of, well, I do this, I take care of my bills, and I do this. Well, that's stuff you're supposed to do.
Mm-hmm.
Everything else, when it comes to the caring for your kids, you're doing that. That's added stuff to you on your plate that somebody else who helped you make those kids was supposed to be there to help you with.
Mm-hmm.
So now if you were of a real man with real good intentions coming around, he's able to help you with that. Help you help them grow. Teach them about things they need to be taught in life.
Mm-hmm.
But you have to be able to, I feel like single mothers need to be able to know to go look out for that.
Mm-hmm.
Bring that in because you can't put a time limit on how somebody's supposed to feel about being hurt.
True.
But you have to have in those areas as a man, you have to say it's not about me, it's about them. If I can get a man that's willing to come in here, help me and be a part of life, lead this family, it gives my kids a teacher. It gives them a guide to follow.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what a lot of our children are missing.
Absolutely. I guess the thoughts that keep hitting me as you say this is, and I'm not saying you in particular, but if some men find it difficult to date single moms, perhaps they shouldn't date single moms. Also, at the same time, single moms, I'm sure, are looking out for the best interest of their children and should not let just any old man come in. Just because a man say, I'm ready and I want to take care of you and your kids. Okay, but what are your other intentions? There have been stepfathers and stepmothers who come in and abuse the kids.
Yep.
Um, it's like this: the man, whether it was a skit or not, the man leaving because her child was misbehaving. Honestly, that might be for the best because he could have harmed that child because he was misbehaving so much. He may have done something out of control because it wasn't to his preference, to his liking. So honestly, she probably dodged a bullet by getting rid of him or him leaving, I should say. You wait for the man who's going to lead with love, discipline or not, however it works. Um, but also as a single mom, I feel like because you have been the one to raise your children, they should mind because of how you taught them to, not because some new person came in. You know what I'm saying? This new person may come in and bring discipline, but I honestly feel like some of that should already be established, if that makes sense.
True, but at the same time, a lot of let's just be real. A lot of the families have been made right out of high school
Mm-hmm.
where you still have the mindset, I want to see the world, I want to go do this, I want to do that. And then some you two got with somebody and oops, I'm pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of kids had kids. And a lot of people don't understand what it took to be a parent. I can honestly say, like I always tell people, I was married for multiple years. I didn't understand what it really took to be a husband until after my fifth year being married, when things got a little bit too rocky. But then
Mm-hmm.
by that time, she was already out. But even with that, I still went back and learned what it took to be a husband, what it took to be in a marriage.
Right.
See, I still had that mindset to go figure out what I didn't know. So if I'm blessed with the opportunity again, I'll be more ready to be a part of it. And as I did so, and I'm looking at the dating field and the different women that are out here and how people are moving, a lot of people don't know how to be in relationships.
Mm-hmm.
And I understand no relationship is the same, but a lot of people don't know how to communicate. They don't know how to handle their emotions and frustrations that comes with being in a relationship because no relationship is going to be without an argument.
Mm-hmm.
It's like it's not the Andy Griffin show in black and white. It's like we're going to
Right.
argue. And a lot of people don't know how to do that. They don't know how to take time to allow the other person's skills and abilities to be able to shine.
Mm-hmm.
Like you do poetry,
Mm-hmm.
and I can't expect, oh, you need to do this. You're my wife. Where's my dinner? No, no. Well, you don't have time to go and sit down and allow the thoughts and the words to come to your mind so you can put it on paper. I
Mm-hmm.
can't expect you to do everything that we're supposed to do in relationships and not give you that time to express who you are as a person.
Right.
Because even though we're married, we're together, we're one, we're still two individual people.
Mm-hmm.
And that doesn't mean we're married that I'm your taskmaster or anything of that nature.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one of the things I had to learn because I had the mindset in my during my 5 years of being ignorant in marriage. I thought I was supposed to go to work, come home, and have this horny woman at home ready for me to come home to her. Not
Mm-hmm.
realizing that this woman's been at home for 8 hours while you've been at work with 3 kids, watching nothing but Sesame Street and Barney. You expect her to be ready to be all intimate and sexy when she get home? No, she's tired.
Mm-hmm.
She wants adult conversation. She wants to be able to go breathe. She wants
Mm-hmm.
to not be able to change diapers for a moment. It's these
Mm-hmm.
things that we don't put in consideration of the other person that has us lost. And that's one of the things I had to learn. It's like it's not all about you, it's about us. And sometimes for it to be truly about us, somebody has to sacrifice.
Mm-hmm.
Like, okay, even though I went to work for 8 hours and come home, let me take the kids for a minute so you can go sit out on the porch and have a little glass of wine and relax, or do whatever it takes for you to unwind,
Mm-hmm.
because we're in this together and not just in this based on what sister so and so and brother so and so did years ago.
Absolutely. And with the bus driver conversation and having mediocre jobs or a pay scale, I've been reading more and seeing videos, and I know it's not new, but luxury for black women in general, right? So luxury would be a nanny or house cleaning or catered meals, right? So luxury. Most black women, I won't say most, excuse me, some black women don't have that, right? They are the maid, they are the cleaning service, they are the chefs, they are everything. The chauffeur, the child whisperer, right? Imagine the relief a mom can have by having some of that. But with that, you have to have a better income, right? Because you got to pay these
Right.
people. So imagine the level of intimacy you can have if some of those pressures are relieved. Like you said, you've been working all day as well. So yes, partners do come home and help clean. They do come home and help with the kids, but y'all both are tired at this point. I think it's fair to let someone else do it, and you guys can then enjoy that the time together, or have a date night, even if you stay home, but
Mhm.
have somebody else watch the kids in the back, or y'all go to the backyard. You know what I'm saying? Having that space, because for so many years we've done that. Relationships feel redundant. They feel old. They feel, you know, underwhelming
Right.
because all you do is work, take care of the kids, take care of
Yeah.
each other, and it repeats. You know what I'm saying? So it's like no wonder people don't want to get in relationships. No
Like,
wonder it doesn't feel like it's supposed to.
two things on that. That was the problem when I was married, because the
Hmm.
problem is we had multiple kids. And when you have multiple kids, everybody that said they was going to be there for you to help you out, it's not going to be there for you to help you out because they don't want to babysit your kids.
Right.
That was the hardest thing that we had to do, is trying to find somebody that would babysit so we can even go out and have a moment.
Hmm.
And even with that, when you gonna be back?
Yeah.
So it was like when you hear that, it's like I don't even want to ask, because if I don't come back in time, let's say we having such a good time out, and then we don't come back in time, you're gonna have an attitude, and I don't want you having an attitude taking out on my kids because we come back
Mhm.
late.
Right. Or you might not watch them again.
Exactly.
Mm,
So with that being said, I kind of forgot the question.
sorry. So I keep your pen and your paper next to you.
Right. So, but it goes with like saying it's no relationship is the same.
Right.
That's one thing people I feel like need to understand. No relationship is going to be like somebody else's. Sit down with the woman, y'all talk about how you two want to do things, how you want to see things go, how you feel about the direction of the family.
Hmm.
And then you two move in that direction. And as you two move in that direction, you two are creating your family the way that you two want your family ways to go. Because what we're doing is we're instead of just undertaking the example of what our parents used to do, we're trying to do it just like them.
Mm,
Well, my house, my mama did this, or my daddy did this. Well, that's not this isn't their house. This is our house. So we need to do it our way.
right.
And our way needs to be discussed and understood through conversation and action behind it. And I think people don't understand that, especially when it comes to relationships. Like it's like the funniest thing. Like every man, because of Kevin Samuels, every woman wants a high value man. I want this. I want a high value man. Well, you're not going to get a high value man because high value men are different. Same for when it comes to women, they're different. Just because one person got one way, don't mean you're going to get it the same way.
We say the same thing about lusting or cheating on your partner. Um, when you see a man with a woman, they having a great time. He's spoiling her. He's buying her things, taking her on trips, treating her like a queen. Sometimes there's women who go, "I want that treatment. I want him to treat me like that. So I'm gonna flirt with him. I'm gonna get with him, and then he'll treat me that way." No, ma'am. It's not how it always works. He treated her like that because that's what they created.
Right.
That's what they have. She may require those things from him. He may never leave her for you, but to expect the same treatment from that man because you see him doing it for someone else is unfair. So it's similar to the households. I want that, or even social media, right? You see these celebrity couples traveling the world or big rooms full of rose petals and whatnot, and you mad because your man won't do that for you. That's not who he is. Y'all haven't had a conversation.
Right. It's a lot of people want relationships but fail to understand they have to create one.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the part where I come in. I'm so serious about I want to be able to create the lifestyle that I want now,
Mm-hmm.
especially if it's in a relationship. That's why I'm dating to see, okay, I like how you move this way. I like how you move this way. Okay. I don't like how she don't communicate, so I'm gonna just leave that alone. Oh, I don't like how she flips out every time. I'm gonna leave that alone. It's like you date to understand these things and you can grow with that information, but you have
Mm-hmm.
to actually take time to understand what you're trying to create for yourself and your partner. And it just can't be you thinking, oh, we gonna do this, this, and this. No, you have to be as a man, you got to be a leader and understand who's all involved and act accordingly.
Mm-hmm.
I know we men as men we get penalized and made fun of. You talking about you want to lead, so lead. But to lead, you got to actually any leader has an understanding of who is on his team.
Mm-hmm.
And at the same time, that leader still has to learn and adapt. And that's something that we fail to do at times.
I agree. And that the condescending so lead is not helpful. But at some point, if you keep, I won't say you, if men drill the idea that I am the leader, I am the alpha, I am this, I am that, put your money where your mouth is.
Mm,
Stop talking about it and be about it. As simple. And I've heard men say, I would love to be a leader, but I'm not ready yet. I'm not there yet. I'm learning how to be a leader. Well, then stop talking leadership stuff
mm.
until you get there. I can't say I'm a CEO if I'm not a CEO yet. I'm training to be one. Maybe I'm on the way to become one. But me talking big boss stuff, I mean, yeah, they say fake it till you make it, but if you can't talk leadership and then get upset when someone wants to see your leadership.
And but at the same time, though, you can't for the other side, you can't want a man to lead and you not follow.
That's true. And I guess we have to discuss what this leadership looks like, right? And
And
what the follow looks
that comes with conversation between the two people in the relationship.
like. It's conversation mixed with action.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't like the idea of testing someone,
I
but
hate that crap.
I know, and I said that on purpose because I don't like it, but I've seen it and I can see it working, but in reasonable manner. So, example,
Hmm.
men often say women don't know what they want to eat, and it is true. I'm not going to deny it. I'm not denying it. Okay, but but if the woman wants to see if her man is a leader, and some aspects, obviously you can't know for sure. You can say, "Babe, I'm hungry. What should we eat?" If he says, "Well, I don't know what you want to eat," that's not the answer I was looking for. I was hoping he would take it and run with it and say, "You know what? I really want some chicken." The woman's gonna say, "All right, chicken sounds good. Where should we go?" As opposed to, "I don't know what you want. I don't know. I don't know." We're gonna be I don't knowing all night. Like I said, it's a small test because honestly, I know what I want to eat, but I want to see what's up. Or let's say, let's go somewhere, um, but I want you to lead the way, right? Or you create a scenario where he has to lead. You know what I mean?
I get what you mean, but I've been triggered.
I got it. And that's why I said most of us don't like that idea, but at the same time, okay, we talk about that masculinity and femininity as well, right?
Right.
When women are told to lean back into their femininity, that means let that man step up into his masculine and lead. How can you lead if you both in the same spot, baby? So when I step back and say, "What do you want to do, sir?" and you fumble the ball, you
Who
know,
who says who fumbles? Because the
I
reason
said
why I
he
say that,
fumbled.
because I want to stay where you're at, but I just seen a woman say something on TikTok about a man saying, "How can you chase me down? How can you try to get my number? How can you get my number, call me, and then fumble me?"
Hmm.
Like, what the heck? How did we fumble you?
Because you wanted it so bad, yet when you got it, you lost it. You did something or didn't do something, and now it was gone. How do you pursue it so tough? Okay, you want a chicken sandwich from KFC. You get your money right, you put your clothes on, you call around to make sure they have the chicken sandwich you want. You are stalking that chicken sandwich. Yet you get to KFC and something happens and you don't get a chicken sandwich. You
Mm,
legit fumbled it. You prepared to get it, or you made them feel like you was gonna get it, or get the woman. Yet when you get there, oh, you know what? I'm not really ready for a relationship. But you was hunting me down. You was calling every day. You was checking up on me. You was taking me places. Now all of a sudden, you
mm,
fumbled. You had a chance to be with me and you missed it.
that's interesting.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I guess.
That's like women. I see a handsome man. I make my way to him. I position myself in a way that he can see me because we don't chase, we attract. But I put myself in position so he can see me, he can take note, he can approach me, make it all work. I want him. I'm going after him. I put myself where he can see me. Yet when he starts approaching me, I go, "Oh, wait a minute. I don't want it. What you doing?" But ma'am, you was putting yourself, all the signals was right. Right? So I messed up because I was enticing him knowing that I didn't really want nothing with him. Or I didn't think he was going to do anything about it. So when he did, I was like, "Whoa, wait a minute." I was playing. I was just seeing if I could do it. You know,
Yeah,
fumbled it. Could have been a great dude. Could have been everything I needed and more. But I decided to play games.
and the play and this where I get a little frustrated because I see a lot of women talk about how they they rejoice in their singleness and anger.
Mm,
Like, I'm getting off of work and I'm finna go lay down and do this, and I'm happy I ain't got to worry about nobody cheating on me and nothing like that. And it's like, just say you want to go. So who hurt you?
all of them.
Because you can tell that you're upset
Mm,
that you're single because you're talking about being alone.
mm-hmm,
And I don't care what nobody say. It's not good for man or woman to be alone,
mm-hmm,
and it shows. But we do things to stay in that area. Like, especially, oh my goodness, when I deal with these super church women,
mm-hmm.
when you try to talk to them, it's like, "Hey, Sister Gladys, you looking good today. Yes, the Lord is this and this." It's like, dude, calm down. Everything ain't got to go to straight scripture all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And what they do is that they're so in love with Jesus, Jesus becomes their man. They
Mm-hmm.
don't allow the presence of of a a physical man to come in and be able to establish something with them.
I can see that.
Because a lot of men get frustrated, be like, "Oh, I'm trying to talk to her, but she's so in love with Jesus."
Hmm. I heard one lady said, "You gotta go through Jesus to get to me." I'm like, you gotta talk to Jesus about me. I'm like, okay, I get it. They call Jesus as your father. So, in a traditional marriage, you go to the father for the hand of marriage. I mean,
I go to him like this, Lord, why'd you make your daughter so hard headed,
I
so
cannot.
stubborn?
Hmm. Or like, let me see. I don't know. I was thinking of ways leadership. So I mean, I think men do it as well. I think men test women, right? There was one situation. It was online. I don't not familiar with the whole situation, but a guy told a woman before their first date he wanted her to wear a dress. Are you familiar with that?
Yes.
Okay, so he told her to wear a dress, and of course she did not wear a dress. But the conversation is that he was controlling. Somebody else said he was just saying his preference, what he enjoyed, he wanted to see, and he was trying to see if she would follow directions. Granted, following directions sounds so elementary, right? Like, oh, you follow directions. I'm a grown woman. I follow directions. Now, can you give direction? Can you, lead me in a certain way that I want to follow you? That's different. I honestly feel like a first date may not be the right place for your expectations or your requirements. You know what I mean? But I don't know. I think from the start, if you expect me to wear a dress because you said so, we start off on the wrong foot already. Red flag number one.
Yeah, yeah. I don't have anything to say against that one.
That's like me saying to a guy, all right, on your first date, you better bring me flowers. I shouldn't have to say that. Now, you bring them because you want to. If you don't, you didn't want to. That's okay.
Right.
But for my preference, or to say we have to eat here, or you have to pick me up at a certain. If I require something of you that you weren't going to already do, or I guess in her case, she might have wore a dress, but because he said to wear a dress, she went against it, right? So if I say, you better bring me 3 gifts when you pick me up, 3, ma'am, who are you?
That's like the one thing, like I said, I don't know if it was skit or not. They went out to eat and she told him, "Was like, you gotta buy my kids something to eat too."
Mm-hmm.
She was like, "I can't just be out to eating, I got kids at home." It's like, wait a minute.
Mm-hmm.
What? I'm not finna. And right there, the expectation is so unrealistic that no man is going to do that.
Mm-hmm. For me, I think it was what I noticed about it was that she demanded it instead of asked for it. Now, remember the whole situation. He was late to the date, so she said, "Because you're late, you need to pay for my children's meal, buy my kids a meal because you were late. This is making up for you being late." Now, even if that was the case, she wanted them both to have steak, and the steak sounded like it was expensive where they were. So not only, and it was like the kids who eating steaks, So the conversation was she really taking food home for herself or for her man at home?
Mm.
What I mean? Like again, it's speculation because we don't know for sure.
No, I
But
seen another skit though where the guy is trying to drop off his girlfriend, and they go to the door, and she's like thanking him for the evening. He leans in to kiss, but then all of a sudden the door opens, and it's her boyfriend, and she's
Mhm.
yelling at him, like, "You took too long to open the door. I almost had to kiss him." And when she walks in the house, and the dude is like, "Oh, well, thanks for the food, brother," and hurry to close the door.
Hmm. I saw that one. Unfortunate, right? Like they literally used him for a free meal, and like dude was in on it. The boyfriend knew. Thanks for the meal, man. Like what? But another reason why I say that, we don't have to do dinner dates. Honestly, those are kind of, I don't want to say boring, but super traditional and almost outdated at this point, especially when people want to go somewhere fancy and expensive. Because let's be honest, if you just met this person, male or female, why are they worth big money dinner right now? I don't even know you yet. To me,
Right.
honestly, that's something. To me, that's like not. I don't want to say a reward, but like a um I don't want to say prize. What's just a gift. To me, it's a gift. In a relationship, I want to take you out. I want to show you my appreciation by buying you a big dinner, right? Why are you doing it so early? And then,
Mm.
then that causes expectation for it to be bigger or better or the same going forward. You know,
Well,
Go ahead.
Well, that's something that, again, it can be discussed at the beginning,
Mm-hmm.
because that's the traditional way of how we usually date.
Mm-hmm.
But if you get to know this person and you get to talking to them and understanding what they like and dislike, like, oh, well, I know a painting class that's on Wednesday nights. Would you like to go, paint some pictures?
Mm-hmm.
Great. I mean, it's something different. We get too boxed in into the routine. For men, it's easy to follow routine because sometimes your women can be happy, cold, warm, freezing,
Mm-hmm.
boiling hot, and it's like you got to try to work with the temperature that y'all give, and sometimes that's a challenge.
Mm-hmm. I get that, and for the most part, many guys I know, including my uncles, are very traditional men. I get it, so it's kind of comes natural to you a lot of times, but I also feel like a movie date and a dinner date are so. I don't even want to. I want to say basic, but that's not basic. But what I'm saying is like it's not original. You know what I mean? Like everyone can do it. Anyone can do it. Honestly, we go to dinner with our friends. It's nothing unique.
Yeah,
It's nothing different. You know what I mean? I go to dinner with my family. You know, if you want to stand out, do something different. Now, if you agreed on dinner, that's one thing. But then you go get dinner. Now you've bought this woman this great meal. You may have had a good conversation, but you never hear from her again. Whether the money was worth it or you upset about it or not, you could have found that out without having gone to dinner with her. You could have found out she wasn't for you without doing all that.
right.
So, and vice versa. I mean, I've definitely never ended a date early. Even if I wasn't enjoying it, I finished the date, but I didn't have another one. It just, so I get it. You go through it and you're going to finish it because I'm here already. But if you went ahead and decided, you know what, let's do a different kind of date. Let's go meet at Starbucks or meet me at the park. It's a nice day out. Or I know a lady who said there was a jazz concert her and her friends were going to, and she invited a guy she was dating to it. She didn't tell him her friends would be there, but she did that. So even if he didn't show up, which he didn't, she would still have a good time. Imagine being stood up at a restaurant. It's only the two of you versus being stood up at
Yeah,
a yeah versus being stood up at an event. Lots of people there. You good. You're gonna have fun anyway. So I like that approach, honestly. You know what I'm saying? And she picked the spot because she said he liked jazz. So it was like a win-win. It's a non-romantical place, a chance to just chill and vibe, listen to music. My friends are there, but we don't gotta be by them. But we're all going, and you can just kind of chill with me. But he didn't show up. But those are kind of things you do because imagine you have children, date nights kind of slow down. If she's used to fancy dinner, she used to going out, it's going to be difficult to go from doing all these things to not doing these things anymore. I'm not saying lower her standards, but expectations have to be different. I have to expect that every date is not going to be fancy. Every day it's not going to be extravagant or whatever the case may be. The purpose of the date is to get to know each other. It can legit be in the backyard.
yeah,
It can legit be at the park or school playground, depending on, I mean, obviously you don't want to be a creep, but they got picnic tables at the playground, but I think that's my goal for going forward in dating is being creative. I don't have any problem with doing some out the ordinary. I actually prefer it because we'll get into that routine of okay, we went to dinner. All right, next time it's a movie. Okay, next time we're gonna do this. Whew, let's live. You know what I'm saying? Who
exactly.
are you? What do you like?
Right. And though these are like some real serious questions, especially when you talk about
Mm-hmm.
dating single parents, mothers and fathers, getting to know someone, understanding what marriage is, if marriage is the ending goal or the goal you want to go into with marriage,
Mm-hmm.
relationships. So, what do you guys think? You can subscribe to the C4 movement and located on YouTube, share, like, and comment. Let's get the conversation going because once we conversate, we learn and we apply and we grow. And I'm the XD stepping in for Glo. Thank you for stepping in and giving your opinion on these topics. And I guess we'll hit you guys next time. Thanks for watching.